Welcome everyone to episode 85 of the Missing Pieces podcast. If this is your first time watching or listening, as this is available everywhere that podcasts are available, my name is Greg, and this is where I sit down and I discuss my life, Lego, and anything else that's on my mind each week. And speaking of weeks, we're back, baby. 2 weeks in a row, I made my return. If you guys haven't been following along, I took a bit of a hiatus during the month of May to reflect on some things that had happened in my life. And I'm back, and I made a pledge to you that every week going forward, I'd be here to share my life, Lego, and anything else that's on my mind with you. And I want to thank everyone that left a comment in last week's episode with the encouragement to continue doing this. I really appreciate that. In fact, why don't I just share one here? This is from ZG Brick Films, doing things a little out of order here today, but I feel like it's relevant right now. He says, I'm glad you're back and feeling refreshed, Greg. I'm one of those people you talked about who only listens to Missing Pieces. He doesn't like any of other stuff that he does. He's just like, I'm here for the podcast. And I'm glad you're going to continue with it. As to what you were saying about being obsessed or be average, I 100% agree. I don't think there's quite anything wrong with being obsessed over things you're passionate about. And I feel like the most successful people in any given field are those who are truly obsessed. Yes, but there's also that balance thing that I'm always talking about and struggling with, and I think, as we go on, that'll always be a theme, but I'm trying to reel it in a little bit. But I agree, like being passionate, which is another word for being obsessed, they kind of go hand in hand. So we're teetering on that limit, but that's okay. I'm going to talk to you guys though about, we have more feedback coming, don't worry. If you left a comment last week, I'm probably going to feature here, at least some of them. There were a few, but I do want to talk to you about my week this week. This is sort of an audio journal. If you're just coming to this for the first time ever and you don't know what to expect, you're like, wait a minute, I thought this is a Lego channel. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about Lego, but I like to talk about my week and all the things that are happening, or that is happening. And we're going to start with all the way back on the day after this was filmed, or actually leading up to the day this was filmed. Last weekend was Memorial Day weekend here in the United States. It's a time when it's supposed to be a time when you remember and also celebrate the soldiers that have died in wars and people that are serving now and the people that have worked very hard and gave everything that they had to make us free so we could sit here and make podcasts about our life. And it's sort of that, but it's also a great time to get together with your family and appreciate that and just enjoy, I guess, the kickoff to summer, if you will. So it's kind of like those two things entwined into one. And our Memorial Day weekend was kind of a bummer here in Pennsylvania this past weekend because it did nothing but rain. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all rain, and I was really bummed out about that because my mother and father-in-law, they have a yard sale every year at that time because it's like their community yard sales. And you guys may or may not know, and you wonder how I'm going to all these community yard sales, all the little towns around us, somehow they all pick like a weekend that doesn't overlap, that they all have their yard sales. So we just go into that town and shop around and stuff, and it's a great time. And this past weekend, unfortunately, was their weekend, and it was a rain out, so we didn't even end up having the yard sale. And I was bummed because we have some stuff that we need to get rid of that I could donate, but it'd be kind of nice to get a couple dollars out of it, and I'd like to see it go to some people that could use it, and maybe not. Well, I guess anyone can be a flipper these days or a scalper, and we're not going to get into whether resellers are good or bad or not, but I'm going to be making a video about that based on a comment that I got in several Missing Pieces episodes ago, many moons ago. I think it's a good topic to get into, but that's for another time. I still have my stuff here. Couldn't sell it. My mother and father-in-law still do as well. I think I was at the point where I was just like, all right, we're just going to donate it. The space and the clutter-free world is what I'm seeking more than any amount of money that I'd get. And usually stuff at yard sales or garage sales. For those of you that maybe aren't from an area that has such things, it's kind of like a level above throwing things away. So it's like we're probably just going to get rid of that thing, but maybe if you can put it out for a couple bucks and somebody buys it, hey, that's great. So I don't have to throw it away and I made some money. And I love it when I find Lego stuff that falls into that category when it happens. That's just like, yes, good for me, I suppose. It's hard to find, but when you find that treasure, it's just such a great feeling. And I've shared some of those videos with you this spring, and I'm hoping to continue doing that this summer because the yard sales it's this weekend. By the time you're listening to this, I would have went out yesterday. So future Greg, or past Greg, which is myself, doesn't quite know what came of that, but I'm hoping that he came back with some scores. And then next weekend's another one as well. But my mother and father-in-law are planning to have their yard sale, so I'm just going to hold on to this stuff for now. And I like it because I make a vlog there and I share that experience, and it's just like a lot of fun. And I was so bummed because the weekend leading up to last weekend was like gorgeous. It was the perfect weather. And then when you need the weather to be on your side and the sun god to come down or to come out. He's like, no, you will not be doing the things you want to do this weekend. You're going to be pent up inside. So it's kind of where I was. But the good news is I was doing some streaming. If you guys listened or watched last week's episode, you know that I have kind of reformulated what my approach, I don't know, a strategy, I don't know what word I'm looking for here. The way that I'm doing things, I guess it'd be strategy, my content strategy here on Brickitect. I'm trying to free up space to do the thing that I really love to do, which is share my life in vlogs on my vlogging channel, which is Greg's World, especially during the summer when we're doing fun and interesting things versus sitting inside and building Lego sets. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because you might be doing that right now, and if that brings you joy, more power to you. I'm just saying, for me, I wait all year for the weather to get good enough in Pennsylvania that we can go out and have fun with our RC trucks and go camping and go on vacations and go swimming and do all the things that you've seen us do if you follow our vlogging channel. I want to be doing that. So I'm like, what can I do to still make content here, but not take an incredible amount of time? And I thought, you know what? 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's do live streams, because I can stream and entertain people. And I know there's a very, like a sub-segment of the people that watch this channel, maybe slightly bigger than the people that actually listen to Missing Pieces, strange enough, that want me to do streams and like be a part of that, you know, to experience that and just, you know, hang out with me while I'm building or chatting or whatever, which is essentially what this is. I said last week that Missing Pieces is more or less a live stream without the live audience, because we're just here hanging out, and you could be doing anything right now. And I hope you are. I encourage you that if you're listening to this or watching and you're just staring at me right now, first of all, I feel sorry for you for that, but get something done. Go walk your dog, go clean up your room, go, I don't know, fold your laundry, clean out the dishwasher, whatever it is. Like, take me on the go with you. That's why it's great that this is on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, so you can just pop your earbuds in or whatever and just go do something, as opposed to not doing anything. But if this is like your chill time and you're just kind of listening to this, or maybe you're working, or maybe you're driving, cool, man. I appreciate you allowing me to come into your ears right now. Thank you for that. But where was I going with that? Oh, I was talking about streaming. I got off on a tangent there. Welcome to Missing Pieces. Should we start over again? I can only think of Brickstar when I say that now. He's ruined it for me. Just kidding. The streaming thing, I've loved it. Streaming's been like this thing, and I won't get into it too much, but I became obsessed with it in 2018 when my good friend I Build with Bricks, who is no longer on YouTube, unfortunately, I think he got scared off because of Kappa. He's on Instagram now. He introduced me to live streaming, and it became like a obsession of mine for a while, and I kind of tailored it back a bit, and then I brought it back, and it's been back and forth, but I love live streaming. I love that connection. I love just being able to come down and essentially turn my space into a recording studio or television studio where I hit a button and I can be live and I can be working on something. And working on something is what I did, because I've been super productive this past week building stuff. Here's some things that I built on streams. The Cata Porsche, which if you're watching this right now, after I told you not to, this is the Cata Porsche, and I love that. There's a video on it if you want to watch it. I built the Technic Jeep and streamed that. Fantastic set. It's on display. You can't see it. It's that little blur right above my finger right there. We got that creamy, buttery background here. I also built the Minecraft Ocean Monument. I built the classic car. I did a review. I showed off my childhood Lego collection. I've done so much on streams. It's made me wildly productive. And that's what I was looking for. I wanted something that would like kickstart me. And in a time of like actually trying to do less, I find myself doing more. I'm getting a lot of stuff built. And then like those things that I do streams on, I fire up a video and I show everyone else that wasn't at the stream what we did, because the streams actually go private, or I guess it's members only after I do the stream. That's one of the perks of becoming a member, and I should speak about that now. This isn't an attempt for me to sell you on anything. I'm just explaining what I've done along with this changeover. I'm leaving Patreon behind, which is crazy because I've been over there for a number of years and have built this thing up. But the one thing that Patreon lacks, and the thing that I like about YouTube memberships, which is, if you don't know what either of these things are, it's essentially like a paid subscription to a person that you enjoy watching. And usually there's some type of perks or a tier that you can join that gives you something like as an incentive for signing up. I've been doing Patreon forever. It's grown into an awesome thing. We have a great community over there, a Discord, which I love. But the one thing that Patreon lacks that YouTube has is you, the audience. Because when I do stuff over there, literally no one knows about it. It's like I don't do a good job marketing it. Like I might mention things here in Missing Pieces, but I don't like actively go out and be like, sign up for my Patreon, do this. No. I decided that maybe YouTube memberships would be a smarter thing because it's now enabled on my account. It wasn't when I created Patreon. I joined Patreon before YouTube memberships was a thing. Very much like YouTube copies everything else, like stories and the community thing. And like everything that YouTube does is like a dumbed down version of what another site does better, like TikTok or Instagram or whatever, you know? Not to hate on YouTube because they are paying the bills here, thankfully. But I decided that I would try my hand at YouTube memberships because it's something that can be seen. Like if I'm doing a live stream and you see members chatting in there and there's like a comment that says become a member and you can see the perks if you just click a button beside the subscribe button. It's so easy. And you don't even have to leave the platform, which I think is a big hurdle for some people. And I think I've realized that because now in doing this, like before, Patreon was just a link down there and you had to go over to Patreon and you had to like read through it and then you had to create an account on there. You had to put your credit card information in, all this stuff. And you've left the place that you wanted to be to do all this. YouTube, assuming you've done a super chat before or done something with Google, your stuff's already in there. So it's just a matter of clicking a button. It's super easy and it's visible. So that for those two reasons, I think the future for me at least is in YouTube memberships. Downsides of YouTube memberships, they're super greedy. YouTube is crazy. Like Patreon takes like 10% of the pledge. YouTube, just like on Super Chats, they take 30%. So I knew that it would be a risk in doing this and moving my community from one place to another. I knew that I'd be taking a hit. I got rid of all of my tiers. I had tiers going up to $100 before. $25 is most common higher tier. I eliminated all that. Everything's just $5. I don't really want to exist in a space where I feel in debt to you, and I feel like at $5 for the streaming and the stuff that I do, I feel like it's a really good trade. Whether you participate in it or not, or if you just want to support, I feel good about it. So I've done one tier at $5. I've had the Patreon people moving over. Like I said, I've had a few new people that weren't on Patreon come over because, again, that was a hurdle. And it's cool to see that. So I have a new Discord that's building with that. And it's exciting. It gives me something to like really strive towards. And just like being obsessed or being average, when I have a goal in sight, maybe I should share my goal here. This is going to sound really crazy, but I'm going to put it out there because I think that transparency is one of the things that I've always driven myself on. And it's one of the things that I think people maybe respect about me versus some other people out there that don't share like the personal stuff that you'd find in a Missing Pieces type episode, or maybe aren't crazy enough to do so. But I have a goal. At my peak, I had 135 patrons. Right before I was like, okay, let's stop doing this. My goal is to get to 500 members. It's crazy, right? But I've got hopefully a long life to get there. Just like getting to 1 million subscribers, we'll slowly but surely get there. I think 50 people have so far signed up to become a member. Most of them are patrons. Some of the patrons just stayed where they were. I think there's some people that don't necessarily engage with the content, but they're just like, okay, I want to support this channel, which is cool. But I'm going to stop talking about this now because I don't want this to feel like an ad. This isn't the purpose, but it's something that's going on in my life, in my YouTube life, in my Lego life. And I feel like that I can share that without feeling like bad about that. So I'm not encouraging you to sign up if you don't want to, but if you see me streaming, you'll see kind of what's going on. I've been making like new emotes or emojis or whatever YouTube calls them because they stole it from Twitch. And that's kind of how I'm looking at this YouTube membership thing. I'm looking at it as like me bringing Twitch over to YouTube, and instead of gaming, I'm doing Lego stuff. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you updated on it when we get new members. Maybe I'll shout them out here like I used to do with the patrons. I think that'd be fun. People love recognition. I think like a part of it is like getting that recognition. And for me, what the perks come down to is like it's like access. So the streams, so they don't pollute my channel, which has been always my worry with putting streams on the main channel here. As soon as they're over or shortly after, they go member only. So if you're live in the stream, anybody can watch it. And then once it's over, it's just members can go back and watch the replay. Occasionally, I'll do members only chat when the chat gets out of hand, because sometimes it does, because we have a younger audience here. When it gets out of hand, I do members only chat. But the thing is, everything that I do is available to everyone, assuming that you're there live. And I stream like at any time during the day. And hopefully you can make a stream at some point and stop by and say hi. I encourage you, and I never tell this to anyone except for because I'm streaming here now, turn on the notifications if you want to know when I'm streaming, because otherwise you're going to see it. You won't even see it. You won't know what happened unless you see it live. And I when I used to do live streams, I would sit there forever. The most common comment that I would get is that I missed it. Oh, shoot, I missed it. I'm like, turn on notifications. Maybe YouTube will let you know. Maybe they won't. I've seen people have issues with that. But that's something that I'm doing, and I'll keep you updated on that. Whether it's good or bad, successful, failure, you don't know unless you try, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm experimenting with things, and I know I have a solid core of people out there that are there to support me or help me out, and I appreciate that. So thank you to everyone that I made your life difficult by making the transition over. I appreciate that. And the new people that joined, thank you as well. It's hard to figure out who's who because people have different names on Discord than they have on YouTube and on Patreon. It's all very confusing, so I don't know who's who, but we'll figure that all out. So that's all going on. And other things that I've been working on. You guys know that beyond streaming and making Lego content, I'm also a vlogger at heart. That's my original thing. And as of June 1st, I've decided that I'm going to start vlogging every single day of my life, or as much as I can. I'm not making a commitment to every day because that's where I get in trouble with the be obsessed thing. But I was just like, okay, I'm making a very, what word am I looking for? I'm making an effort every day to hit the record button on my phone, which is my most easy vlog camera because it's always with me, to record something. And what I'm finding in 4 days of doing this now is that every day kind of crafts like a storyline that I'm really like in love with. Like my idea on YouTube is that I want to become a better storyteller. And when you just start recording little clips of your day, that kind of molds into something as the day goes on. And it's stuff that's, maybe small, maybe big, but it's recorded for my video time capsule. And I know someday I'm going to look back on this and be so thankful that I recorded all these things. Because I said in my vlog this week, in one of the episodes that you'll be seeing in this upcoming week, is that I've regretted not recording things before, but I've never regretted recording things. I'm always happy to have something, but there's been times when I've been devastated where there'd be like a day where like all these great things happened or we went and did something and I'm like, why didn't I record that? And I just feel down about myself. And I even like be obsessed, right? In my mind, I'm seeing like how I would have did the storyline and the clips that I would have chosen and how that would have made the story for a Greg's World vlog. And I'm just devastated about it. Not only for you, because I like want to share that, but for me, because someday I'm going to want that. So yeah, I'm working on that, and I've recorded every day, including today. Like when I finish this, will probably be a part of the video. I just finished my podcast. So I've been doing that. I've also, in conjunction with vlogging, I've been really doing well with getting in shape and doing my exercise thing. In fact, I'm going to share another comment here. These are kind of falling into place here. This one is from Anne, who says, definitely health and fitness as a topic. I got you, Anne. Roxy's she's dreaming right now. You might hear her start barking a little bit. I work at home as an artist. Youngest started school this year, and it's hard to manage my time to fit time for my own health in. Love to hear your ideas. Well, I'll tell you what I've been doing. Speaking of Roxy, every day that I drop Clarkman off at school, Roxy and I go for a 2-mile walk. And it's really helped. Like, we both need to get in shape, right? I find that about 2 miles is her max. By the time we get back, she's pretty much like done for. But I also got an Apple Watch. I've been tracking like my progress on there, and it's given me like, it's almost gamified the whole exercise thing. So I'm not saying you need to buy an Apple Watch, but it's been like something for me that I can track. I've also been tracking my weight as well, and I'll have you guys know that since I started on my fitness journey, which I think was like, I'm trying to think back when we first started talking about it. I think it was like March. I'm down 10 pounds right now, and I haven't been doing great. Like the month of May, I didn't make much moves at all. That was a bad month. But this month, like today, I weighed myself. I'm the lowest weight that I've been since 2019. And I'm happy about that. So I'm still making progress. I've been watching my intake. I've been trying not to go overboard with eating stuff. It's definitely helped having Clarkman in school. Because I used to, like, when he'd eat breakfast, I'd eat breakfast. If Clark had some leftovers, I'd eat his leftovers. 2 hours later, he's hungry again. I'll eat with you, Clarkman. You got leftovers? I'll eat your leftovers. You blow up. I'm not fat by any means, but you know, when we're going on vacation this summer, and I want to be able to take my shirt off and not be like, oh man, look at myself. So that's been my motivation, and it's been going well. Down 10 pounds, lowest weight ever. I want to tell you next week that I'm down even lower than that. There's numbers that I'm trying to hit that I'm going to get to, and I believe that I can do it because what is managed. What is that phrase? Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting this. It's like what is managed what is tracked gets managed or something like that. Let's just say that I'm managing things now. I'm just not going all willy-nilly, and I'm living off of the surplus calories that I've taken in before and trying to get myself down. So just saying all that. Also in the world of exercise, and if you're listening, this is going to be really far out there. Also Jenny, who I knew is doing a great job. She's a Patreon detector, now member detector. Brickitector is what we're calling them. You guys have lost weight or looking to lose weight, as am I. I do this bit of exercise with my Oculus Quest, which is a VR headset. And they're not too expensive, but it's like one of the things you put on your head and you got the two things in your hands. And I've really been enjoying doing activity through that. I'll just put like other on my watch, and then I'll do that. And it's crazy to see how many calories you can burn while you're having fun. So one of my suggestions, Anne, is that you gamify what you're doing. Like Jenny, for example, she does Wii, what is it, Just Dance for the Wii? And that's her exercise. So if you can make it fun, or if you're taking your dog with you or whatever, that's a great way. It's very hard just to be like, I'm going to get on the treadmill right now and run 6 miles. That's hard. But if you put your Oculus Quest on and you're playing Beat Saber and swinging your arms around and stuff and getting into it, it's an easy way to exercise. And there's a lot of like fitness games on there because it's like you're playing a video game, but you're in the video game. Totally immersive. I know it's not for everybody, but I've been enjoying that as a way to exercise. And I'm going to try to figure out a way that I can stream it. So I have a gaming channel, and if I can cast that to my computer and use this camera, like if I play back here somehow, like move the coffee table out of the way, which is right here, and I have this camera on, and I can cast what I'm seeing to my computer, I think that I could stream my gameplay, and that would be really fun because then it gives me another motivation that I'm entertaining people while exercising, while playing. It's like the trifecta of wins, my friends. So that's what I'm working on. Other things this week. We're getting kind of to the end of like the things that happened to me this week. Exercising, building, being productive, memberships, vlogging, raining last weekend. But I did some watch detect. And last week, Friday night, which was right after I recorded this, it's actually Friday right now, just to break the fourth wall if there ever was one. I do these Friday afternoon when it's nice and quiet before I have to pick Clark Mann up from school. And we watched the movie Tenet last week. And it was cool. I think I like Inception better. Christopher Nolan movie. It's on HBO. Is it HBO Max? I think that's what it's called. I almost called it HBO Plus, but that's Disney. It's a mind trip a little bit. You really have to like think in the movie. Inception was better in my opinion. I don't want to get into a battle about it. It's just personal taste. But the whole idea of Tenet is that you can move forward through time, but you can also move backward through time, but it's not a time travel thing where you're just all of a sudden back in 1985 or whatever. You are everything's traveling backwards in time, but you're traveling at like normally. It's very trippy, but then you have to figure out the timelines and everything's working. I liked Inception better. I think I mentioned that a couple times now. Another Watch Attack news. I'm also watching, and you Star Wars detectors are about to lose it, I think. Clark and I are watching The Bad Batch. We're 2 episodes in. I love it so far. I think the animation's fantastic. The story's great. It looks good. I'm into it. I was recommended this by so many people, and I'm just like, okay. But now it's become an expense for me because now I have to buy the Lego set. The ship, though, the Bad Batch ship, I don't think the Lego one looks anything like the one in the show. Maybe it's because I've only watched a couple episodes. Maybe it changes color from gray to blue at some point. But I don't think the ship's very good. I just want it for the minifigs. And that's where I find myself in a lot of Lego collecting these days, especially in Star Wars. I just want the minifigs, right? Like, keep the set. Give me the minifigs. And maybe I'm going to find a way to do that. I was thinking about, back to the whole member thing here. I was thinking the sets that I build going forward, like I want to buy like a ton of stuff and build it and like stream it. But I was thinking when I'm done with it, that's where like the trouble of collecting comes to me, and that's in the storing of the thing. And what I'd like to do is when I'm done with the set, take a picture of it, put it on the we have like a marketplace channel on our Discord for members, and I'm just going to be like, anybody want to buy this for a massive discount? And then I can put it off to them, and that gives me the chance to to do a haul video or whatever, like they do well, right? To do the streams, which is fun. And then when I'm done with it, just kind of let it go. Maybe it'll be without minifigs, even cheaper, whatever the case is. But I don't think it's sustainable to do what I'm planning to do in the future and still collect the way that I do, because it's just we're gonna get overflowed. But I'm trying to like figure out a way, since I am streaming. I'm gonna start buying like every big set that comes out, like any set that's like over $100 or more. I was thinking about just buying every one of them. Maybe I should raise that to like $150, but it's kind of a cool idea, right? And do it like right when it comes out, so I can be on the cutting edge for once instead of building sets that everyone saw like in 2018, because that's where I find myself. But that's okay. I'm enjoying my Lego collecting journey, sharing with Clarkman, who is finishing school this week. He's got 2.5 days of school, and then he's home with me. So all the people in the streams that are asking, where's Clark, which I think is the most common question outside of what is my favorite set, he'll be back, and we'll be doing this together, so that'll be fun. So we got like 3 months of Lego stuff happening, and then it's back to me again. So the streams will kind of change, and it's always going to be this thing, I guess, for however long Clark lives with us. We're going to go through like these chapters or whatever, seasons, if you will. But that was my week, as told in less than 30 minutes. I think I did pretty good there on the time. I'm going to go through some listener feedback here. We got a little bit of an advice-itect from Ronan. It says, hey, Greg, glad you're back. Thank you. It says, also finally caught up on the series. I gave you a couple weeks to do it, right? He says, next week, maybe can you go over how to get through something you have no curiosity, motivation, or just flat out wish you didn't have to do? I love the way you worded that. He said, for example, a subject in school where you have to do a project on it. That would be awesome. Okay, this is difficult. Usually, in order to do something you don't want to do, there needs to be one of two things at the end of it, or both. There needs to be a reward. For example, a school project would be a good grade. You're going to work towards that reward. You know, you're a mouse that gets through a maze. At the end of it is a little piece of cheese. That's your reward. The other end of it could be a punishment. So you don't do your school project and you fail. You have to repeat 10th grade because of it. You're the mouse that decides not to go through the maze. You get zapped by a scientist or whatever. There's those two things. You're not going to do anything unless there's a reward or there's a punishment for either doing it or not doing it. Humans, by nature, want to do the thing that makes them most comfortable. It's way more easier to lay on the couch and watch TV than it is to sit here and do a podcast. It's way nicer to get a hot shower than it is a freezing cold shower. We want to do the things that cause us comfort or increase our comfort or maintain our comfort. Doing a school project that you're not interested in, that doesn't make you more comfortable. So the only way you're going to get through it is the two things that I mentioned. So you have to kind of look at that, and you have to prioritize, and you have to think about the bigger picture too. Like, there's a lot of things that we do in our lives, even if you're doing the thing you love to do for a living, like make YouTube videos. There's still that aspect of editing that video and doing all the stuff to get that video out to people. That's not quite as fun as going out and going to an amusement park and filming your day. There's that other grind part of it. And again, it comes down to reward or punishment. Do I want to live indoors in the future? If the answer is yes, I should probably keep making these videos. Do I, you know, it's, I guess it comes down to that. I don't need to labor the point that I need to work on my vocabulary. I noticed that my vocabulary from hanging out with a 6-year-old endlessly, my vocabulary has started to go like down, down, down. I need to watch some smart people on the YouTube so I can learn how to speak well. Talk good. Anyways, hopefully that helps you with your problem there, and hopefully there's a reward waiting for you when you do a good job on your school project, if there is one. Next one here comes from JJ Lego 07 with a Lego question. It says, hey Greg, next week's podcast you can discuss your thoughts on the Lego art world map. Stay safe and see you in the next video. Thank you. You stay safe as well. It's kind of cool looking. We have a giant map in our office, which you would have seen if you watched our Greg's World vlogs where we're in, like, doing the remote learning kindergarten. I think I'm good with that. I don't really have any ambition to sit down and do a mosaic. I would like to do one where it's a Brickpick logo. I thought it'd be cool to kind of steal like the design from one of the sets and then maybe put my own pieces in there to make one, because that would look pretty sick in the background. Like that right there is a mosaic sent to me by the Kirby family, and that's pretty darn cool. But I'd like to do one with like the circular flat tiles, which I think could get a little expensive. But I imagine they have them in blue, green, yellow, and red. So Brickpick logo would be what I'd want to do. I don't want to do a giant map. I just don't think it'd be fun. But that being said, the one thing I would like to do with it if I did get it is to set my camera up above it and never move it, but do a live stream where I go right across it, building like it in rows, and then do a time lapse where it's like, but it'd be like hours and hours and hours of work to get like maybe like a 30-second video. And the payout on that, the reward on that, isn't nearly as high as the punishment is circling around. That's a great segue, but yeah, I'm out on that. I don't see any reason for me to get that. Here's a nice comment from Ron. I thought I would share this. This boosted me up, and I appreciated it. He says, Greg, do what you like to do. I think that's a great idea. He says, I'm not a Patreon, but I am a subscriber. I really enjoy your channels, Greg's World and Brickitect. Also, are you going to do more green screen videos? I enjoyed Greg's gardening tips as well as your Brickzar imitation. You and Brickzar are my favorite YouTubers. He's my favorite YouTuber as well. You and Brickzar should do a podcast together. That would be interesting. Keep up the videos and have a good day. I would love to do a podcast with Brickzar. He's such a special guy. And I'm going to, can I geek out for a minute? Can I like fangirl out a little bit? He's been a guy that I've subscribed to forever. If you're not subscribed to Brickzar, you're totally missing out in life. I've subscribed forever. I love his content. I love his channel because he's doing the thing that I think you should do with a Lego YouTube channel, and that is to share your Lego collecting journey. You know, he's not out sharing the newest leaks or the reviews or whatever. He's doing what he loves to do. He's collecting things that he enjoys, whether it be tipper trucks or whatever it may be. And I just appreciate him just hopping on, and it feels like you are his friend when you're talking to him, or when he's talking to you. Maybe you're talking back to him. You're crazy, possibly. You're talking to your computer screen. But it just feels like you guys are in a room together, and he's just, I love the one take, just kind of stand there and do your thing, and then you shut it down, switch your t-shirt, and do it again tomorrow, right? I have so much respect for him, and if there's no one in this world that I wish could do YouTube full-time than Brickzar. But he's a sane man. He's got a good paying job with benefits and all that fun stuff. This is definitely going to be a great retirement thing for him, and I would love it if he opened up a Lego museum, because he probably has more stuff than the average person has, I'm sure of it, and that he knows so much about and could be such a great curator of such things. So there's me fangirling out for my favorite Lego YouTuber. Just like Ron, he feels the same way. Am I going to do any more imitations? I have one on the horizon that I want to do. I have someone that I'm sure you probably watch and know well from the Lego Star Wars community, and I think it's going to be a banger, and it's going to be a lot of fun and funny. And I only feel like, the thing is, like, there's other people that I want to do, but I don't want it to come off like the wrong way. I feel like Brickzar and I can have fun with each other because we're friends, at least I like to think so. And you can kind of like roast somebody a little bit. Like when he roasted me, I thought that was great. But if you don't know that person, sometimes that can come off as like rude or mean or whatever. So you got to be careful. So I'm trying to only do it on people that I know or that I'm friends with. But I'd like to do more of that. The green screen's actually behind me right here. I took it down during the month of May, but I think it does need to make a comeback. But I'm trying to get a t-shirt in the mail. I don't know if it exists out there, but it says Patriots Suck on it. That's the shirt that I need for the funsie that I'm trying to have. So stay tuned for that. If anyone has a source to get a shirt like that, let me know, because we're gonna go all in. Let's go on to the next comment. Ron, thank you for the kind words, and hopefully you look forward to the next green screen imitation video. The next one comes from Andrew. I think this not only is helpful for me, but also for maybe someone listening this out there, and I think this is a great comment to share. He says, losing a parent is so hard. Just after my 21st birthday, my dad passed away. Then only 3 weeks ago, my mom had a huge scare. We ended up at the hospital and were told to say our goodbyes, as she probably wouldn't make it past the weekend. Well, she somehow got past the weekend. We saw 3 different doctors, and none of them could tell why or how she was still here. She had lost over half her blood. She's slowly on the mend, but we're now taking it a day at a time. It's been such an emotional roller coaster that I wouldn't want anyone else to go through. I share this not to ruin the mood here, but I want to share it because of one thing that I think we all need to do, and that is to appreciate what we have. Whether it be a physical thing or whether it be a person, be thankful. I know it's so easy to see other people out there that have more than you, and maybe you're jealous of that thing or item that they have or whatever this person's lifestyle is or whatever. But think about the positivity that you have in your life. Think about the number of people that have it way worse than you. Because if you were listening to this, and I try to say this as much as I can, if you're watching this or listening to this, you've won life's lottery. You have electricity. You've got a phone. You've got a computer. You're probably living indoors. You probably ate today. Those are things that not everyone in this world has. You got to be thankful, even in like bad things and when rough stuff happens in your life. And this is something that I've learned over the last month. You got to be appreciative. You got to think about, like, what do I have going on? And then also on top of last week's episode, which if you didn't listen to, go back for that one. Think about what you're working on and where you're going, because time isn't an infinite thing, right? Like Andrew's mother, her time may not be infinite. So think about what you want to do. Think about the things that you want to say to the people that you want to say it to. because you might not have the chance. So I'm going to stop there before I get emotional. Andrew, thank you for the reminder that we should all be thankful and appreciative. And we all are wishing the best for your mother. We're going to jump into, I think, wins of the week next. We had a couple wins, just a few. I'm going to say my win of the week. I'll share mine first, and I'll let you guys go into yours. Actually, I'll share yours first, then we'll send you out with mine. Not that mine's any better, but I feel like, I don't know. We're still trying to figure this out 85 episodes in. First one is from Wabmaster, a repeat offender. He says, great episode. My win of the week was finally getting a new bed. I've been needing one for a while now, and I finally got one. P.S. I love the RC videos. Dude, congratulations in your bed. I hope you're sleeping soundly. And, it's one of those things you spend a lot of time in. Think about your bed. Think about your mattress. If you have the funds to get a new one, if yours is old, it might change your life, possibly, just like it did for Webmaster, potentially. RC videos coming very, very soon, like a few days from now, to a Greg's World channel near you. Next one is from Brickpick. So my wins of the week is that I got an A in English essay, and I watched Justice League Snyder Cut, which probably took him the entire week. Also, good to see you back. Hope you're feeling better now. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed your movie. Congratulations on the English essay. What was the reason you got an A? Was it the fear of punishment for getting a failing grade, or was it the reward for getting an A? I bet it was the reward. That's why you did it. Maybe you just love English. If you do, transfer to my wife's class because she needs more like you. Last but not least, in wins of the week, we've got Mateo Hans, who says, win of the last few weeks is that after months of hard work, I finally saved $1,000 cash and bought myself a new laptop. I'm finally experiencing games I wanted to play for the past 2 years, and rendering times for my editing jobs went from 7 hours to 20 minutes. Oh my goodness, that is what you call an investment right there, Mateo. You now, instead of making one video a day, you're making 15 videos a day, right? Playing the games you want. Congratulations on saving up the money. That takes dedication. And again, what was your decision for doing that? Was it it was the reward, right? Like, what am I going to get when I save up? I recommend everyone try to have a little bit of emergency fund out there. Whether, I'm speaking to adults mainly here. If you're a kid, you're probably going to be okay. You probably don't have too many worries. Enjoy it while you can. If you're an adult, try to get a little bit of money saved up if you can. Even if it's just like $20 a week or something that you can afford. Put that aside for a little bit, for a rainy day, because someday, like, if something comes up, it's nice to not have that stress looming over you. Like, oh man, I need a new computer. My car battery died. I need new brakes. All these, washing machine exploded. Whatever. It's nice to have options and like a little bit of money so you don't have to worry so much. But it's funny how $1,000 can change your life, and that's what it did for him. And now he's going to be able to work more and make even more money, hopefully, from that. And I think that's definitely a good win of the week. I'm going to share my win of the week, which was pretty much everything that I shared with you. It was a really good week, being productive. The membership thing was really cool, getting that started and working on that. Losing some weight, doing the things that I'm like striving to do. I guess kind of like going towards my ultimate goal, which is sharing my journey on YouTube and fulfilling that thing that I've been gifted, has been great. And I'm just excited to do more of it. That being said, if you have a win of the week that you would like to share next week, you can leave it down below. If you have any comments, or if you need some advice, possibly some dubious advice from your local brickitector, I'd be happy to share that as well. If there's any topics that you'd like me to bring up in the world of Lego or outside of Lego, I'd appreciate that, because like I said before, the second half of this episode, I think is the better half, when we get out of me just talking about my days, and then we get into like all the stuff that you guys are interested in. So don't be shy. If you'd like to share something, please do that. You're just a username online, unless you use your actual name. And if you want me to, I won't even say your full name. But put it out there, guys. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting it out there. And I encourage you to do the same. Whatever your goal is, as the sunshine comes in upon the Brickitect studio, I hope you guys have a glorious rest of your day, rest of your weekend, a great week ahead of you. Work towards one of those goals that you have in your life, and then tell me that it was your win of the week next week. So on that, thank you for watching, and we'll find you in the next Missing Pieces.